नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की जय। श्री श्री निताई गौरंग की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे गौर। So today we have brought to you a new topic from the book Science of Self-Realization. Very interesting one. This is known as the topic is called knowing the purpose of life. Very wonderful topic. Prabhupada has delivered this as a lecture in 1969 in London, Conway Hall. So we'll get into this discussion. So before that, all these discussions, what we are having on this book, Science of Self-Realization, is by the inspiration of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, who has so mercifully recorded all these teachings, either in his audio or books. And then we are so fortunate to have these Prabhupada's teachings this way to benefit in our spiritual life. So we should express our gratitude to Prabhupada for his unlimitedly merciful action for us. Remembering Prabhupada again, let's move forward with the discussion on the topic. So this particular subject which we're going to discuss, what is the purpose of life? So this was actually a wonderful lecture given by Prabhupada in London during his visit in 1969 in a Conway Hall. There's a big hall by name Conway Hall. And it is providing some very simple and enlightening guidance on the most fundamental question every thoughtful person, every thoughtful human being is having. What is the purpose of life? What is this life meant for? Right? Many people have different ideas, different understandings about this particular question. So, unfortunately, our difficulty in finding ultimate meaning is compounded by the fact that thousands of conflicting philosophies, religions, ideologies, and their proponents compete for our loyalty. Right? You cannot ascertain exactly or pinpoint exactly what is the purpose of life. That is the problem. So Prabhupada begins his talk by telling us what is actually meditation. Now, today's subject is our relationship with God. This is self-realization. And the Sankirtan movement is the easiest process for self-realization because it cleanses the heart. The opening words of Prabhupada, the lecture, right? So, Prabhupada is telling that the aspect of self-realization means understanding who am I and what is my relation with God. This is called self-realization. And the most easiest process for self-realization that I am belonging to God and we have an intimate relationship with God. This can be awakened by the Sankirtana movement, which we have discussed in our previous many other sessions also, because this cleanses the heart. And further, Prabhupada says, our misunderstanding of our identity is due to the dust covering the mirror of the mind. Right now, I am thinking myself as this body, or belonging to a particular family, community, society, country. Yes, that is one identity connected with the body. Whereas this aspect of identifying ourselves with the body and making us, or thinking that this is everything for us, this is what the Bhagavad Gita and scriptures say, that is misidentifying or misunderstanding of our identity. This misunderstanding of our identity is covering our real understanding of who we are. So the mind is compared to the mirror. It is covered by dust now. It's covering our real identity. In a mirror that is covered with dust, one cannot see himself. But if it is very clear, then one can see himself. Very simple understanding, right? The mirror is dusty. You cannot see a reflection. Only when it is clean, you can see yourself. So the meditation is a process for cleansing the heart. Very simple definition. Right? What is meditation? Meditation is a process for cleansing the heart. Why cleansing is required? Because right now, our heart is covered by dust. So what is the dust? How it is covering? We'll discuss, the Prabhupada will reveal all these understandings as we move forward in our discussion. It is just the preface. Meditation means an authorized process, a standard process of cleansing the heart, cleaning the heart, to identify who we are actually. Next. So meditation means to try to understand one's relationship with the Supreme. We have an eternal relation with God. So understanding the relationship with God is what meditation will make us or lead us to. The process will lead us to. Now Prabhupada brings in the point of how people's conception of things around them, and especially about God. Right? So just now we understood that meditation is supposed to cleanse our heart and bring us to the point of realization that we are connected to God. We have eternal relation with God. Right? But right now, the modern day understanding is something different. Prabhupada very nicely brings up the point. With everything with which we come in contact, there's relationship. Right? Anything you associate with, you have, you connect with, is having a relation. We are having a relationship. A very simple example Prabhupada gives. Because now I am now sitting on this cushion, the relationship is that I shall sit and the cushion will hold me. Anything animate, inanimate, we have some relationship. Right? This is my bed, or this is my mobile, or you develop sort of a relationship, right? It is mine. Basically, I'm using that gadget, or I'm using a particular thing. You're Englishmen or Indians, so there's relationship with your society, with your family, with your friends, right? Like this, all of us, Prabhupada is addressing a big gathering of Englishmen and Indians sitting there. He's telling that all of us have some relationship with people around us, as a family, as friends, or in society, we're together. So the question should be, what is the relationship with God? It's like in the material world, with anything and every person, we have some relationship. Right? Whatever our circle of relationship is there. So what is the relationship with God? This question has to come up. If we ask everyone, very few people will be able to explain their relationship with God. This is the irony. Now, if you ask people, what is your relationship with God? Nobody will be able to give clarity, or nobody will be able to give clear understanding of this aspect. They say, what is God? God is dead. I don't believe in God. What to speak of a relationship? Right? This is the answer they come up with. Prabhupada is talking about the modern day thinking and their perspective of the world around us. Right? Very, very interesting perspective Prabhupada is giving. They say God is dead. Or who is God? I don't believe in God. Right? Because I can't see God. Why this is happening is because these dirty things are covering their hearts, they cannot see. The dirty things of different wrong, negative understanding about God. God is dead, not there, where is He? These things are all covering our hearts, so they cannot see. But we have a relationship with everything. Why do we not try to understand the relationship with God? Anything in the material world, we want to use it for our purpose. So unless we relate with that object or relate with the person, you cannot experience that relationship. You cannot enjoy that thing or a person, right? So there is a relationship with God. Common sense, right? So if you think there is no relationship with God, why I should understand relationship with God? If this question is even is asked and told, there's no need. And Prabhupada says, this is not an intelligent question. It only shows our ignorance. All the creatures in this material world are covered with the three modes of material nature. Therefore, they cannot see God. This is a statement from Bhagavad Gita, which Prabhupada is quoting. But right now, in the material world, the world which we are living in, we are covered by the energy of Krishna known as Maya or material energy, which is composed of three modes: Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. Tribir Gunamayer Bhaver Evi Sarvam Idam Jagat Mohitam Nabhijanati. The statement in Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter. Three modes are actually enamored. All living entities are enamored by three modes. They are under the spell of these three modes, and because of which they don't know about God. They cannot see God. They are like they've done a spell. They've cast a spell on all the living entities. So they're not able to see God. They cannot understand God, nor do they try to understand Him, but God is there. So right now, our understanding or our knowledge is covered by three modes. That is the dirty thing, actually. Right? And so because of which they're not able to understand God. Or they don't even try to understand Him. They are in complete, you can say, illusion. But God's existence is a fact. Prabhupada gives a nice example. In England, in the morning, there is mist. So you cannot see the sun behind the fog. Right? Morning time, so much of fog, especially European countries, in England and all. So you cannot see the sun. It looks very cloudy, very dull weather. But does this mean that there is no sun? You cannot see it because your eyes are covered. Right? So just because it is cloudy doesn't mean sun is not there. Very nice example, But our eyes is not able to see beyond the clouds that there is sun. But if you send a telegram to another part of the world, they will say, yes, the sun is here. We can see it. It is very dazzling, full of light. Prabhupada's 1960s, 70s, you can say. At the time, telegram was the way of communication, very swiftly. Right now, we have so many social media and WhatsApp and so many things. But in those days, the communication and the interaction with people was going on swiftly means telegram. Right? So, in another part of the world, somewhere you send a telegram to your friend, they will say, yes, I can see sun. Oh, but I cannot see here, if you say. Then it is something is wrong with our vision. So when you deny the existence of God or you cannot ascertain your relationship with God, that means you are lacking in knowledge. Right? So self-realization means not only seeing yourself, but also seeing God. It's like seeing in the light means seeing the sun as well as seeing yourself. Right? So Denying existence of God, you cannot ascertain your relationship with God. Right? God is dead, or I don't know who is God, I don't have a relationship with him. These are all foolish, ignorant arguments. It only shows a lack of knowledge. It is not that there is no God, we are lacking with the proper understanding. That's the point. The sun is not covered, the sun cannot be covered. Right? The fog or the cloud or the mist does not have the power to cover the sun. So what is happening is that, and the clouds can cover at most 10 or 20 or 100 miles. So how can the clouds cover the sun? No, it's not possible. The clouds cannot cover the sun, they cover our eyes. It's a very important point Prabhupada is making. The clouds are covering our eyes. Our vision having limitation, because you're only seeing the cloud. Beyond the cloud, there is sun. That we are not able to see, because our eyes are having limitations. Maybe a few miles, a few hundred miles it can cover, but not the entirety of the sky. When an enemy comes and a rabbit cannot defend himself, the rabbit closes his eyes and thinks, my enemy is now gone. Very famous example, which all of us know, how a rabbit tried to defend itself. When the enemy attacks, he just closes his eyes very tightly and thinks, oh, enemy is run away. But doesn't mean that, enemy has run away. You're standing right there. Right? Like that, if you just, because your vision is covered and you assume that beyond this cloud, there's nothing, no sun. That is our foolishness. Right? Similarly, we are covered by the external energy of God and we are thinking God is dead. So these aspects of discussions of God's existence, our relationship with God is all very, confusing questions which people have. In fact, Prabhupada is again and again reiterating the point, the purpose of life is to know God and revive a relationship with God. This point is going to be repeated again and again in our discussions. But right now, people are assuming, because of their ignorance, that God is dead, or there is no God. I don't have a relationship with God. So Prabhupada gives some examples how to at least recognize some things around us in the material world and how God's energies are all working so perfectly and swiftly. So, this understanding from the scriptures that the Lord has three kinds of energies. In the Vishnu Purana, there are descriptions of the energy of the Supreme Lord. There are multifarious energies, but primarily there are three energies described in the scriptures. And in the Vedas also, in the Upanishads, there are descriptions of the energies of the Supreme Lord. And not only Purana, Vedas, Upanishads, all of them describe about the different energies of the Lord. Parasya Shakti Vividhaiva Shruyate. Shakti means energy. The Lord has multi-energies. The Vedas say God has nothing to do. Right? Energies are so unlimited, multifarious. The Vedas also say that God has nothing to do. Whereas in our case, we have to work because we have no other means to exist. We are forced to work. Otherwise, where will you get your eating? Right? We have to eat, we wish to enjoy this, that. But why should God work? Because God is already having so many things, all unlimited things with him, unlimited energies, unlimited, things at his disposal. So God does not have to work as per the scriptures. Then how can we say that God created this universe? Is that not work? Prabhupada says no. His creation of the universe is not his work. Rather, it is not that, he is forced to work like how we work. And how this creation of the universe happened? Why did it happen? How did it happen? So the answer is, his multifarious energies are so strong that they are acting naturally and full of knowledge. Swabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. Swabhaviki means they are naturally working in so wonderful way that jnana bala kriya. Everything is working so swiftly and so wonderfully. Everything is perfectly, manifesting. That is how Lord's energies are working. That is how his manifestations are, excuse me, are going on in this material world. So basically, this material world creation, or the way we construct our house or our building, first of all, we have to take some approvals from the local authorities. Then we have to arrange a contractor. Then we have to get building materials. All that hard work, what you do, that is not the way God creates or God does any work. His energies are so wonderfully working. He has so many energies. It's like example Prabhupada gives is the computer machine. Nowadays, the mobile. With one click of a button, so many actions happen. Because behind that machine's design, the various circuits and the way it is all designed, it is just one click of a button, all the different functions start working. So like that, just imagine a human being who is actually very insignificant can create a machine like this. How God, who is unlimited, how many multifarious energies he has, that just by his wish, just by his will, his desire, so many things can happen. That is the point. So this we have to appreciate. Right? So God has unlimited energies, unlimited opulence, unlimited knowledge. Right? Everything is unlimited in him. He just has to desire or just has to will. Then automatically the other things will function. That is how things happen. It's like for a big man, he just wants, I want this. Then he has so many assistants, so many servants. Things will happen just by his will, by his desire. Like that, for a big man it can happen, why not for God? That's what Prabhupada says. So his multifarious energies are so strong that they are acting so naturally and full of knowledge. And why was this creation of this world universe happened? Because we wanted it. We have rebelled against Krishna's order, and Krishna wanted to facilitate, okay, you cannot be in the spiritual world, you want imitation, be in this material world, where all such entities are here. This material world is like a jail, where all rebellious entities are all put up there. Criminals are put up there. So, some more wonderful examples Prabhupada gives. We can see how a flower blooms and grows and systematically displays multicolors. One side little spot, another side little spot, white on one side, more white on the other side. Just see. Even simple, creation of the flower has so beautiful features. His energies are working so swiftly. It is happening as though, somebody has done this whole night painting for his flowers and it looks so beautiful. It's like an artist, will take sometimes months to paint one nice portrait canvas. Not that you throw colors on the canvas and nice picture will be ready. No, he has to use his intelligence. So behind these wonderful creations, what we see, for example, the flower also, there is a brain working. Somebody has designed this, right? So our discussion was how God's energies are working so swiftly and so automatically, so wonderfully, that you cannot deny that there is no creator. There is a creator. There's a hand of the creator behind all these creations. One more example. The butterfly also exhibits such artistic symmetry. So this is all being painted, but in such a perfect way and so swiftly that we cannot see how. Just see. The world around us is so colorful. Why? Because God has used his intelligence to make it very wonderful. Every aspect of the creation is nicely taken care with regard to seeing all the various aspects of the creation with regard to its artistic manifestation, beautiful manifestation. We cannot understand how it is being done, but it is being done by the energy of the Lord. Right? We are not able to see. Doesn't mean there is nobody behind it. Prabhupada gives one more example. Just like a big company is working. From outside, you see a big building and a lot of people inside working. Does it mean that there is nobody to direct them? Nobody to give them proper, instructions, how the company has to run? There is a person, boss or the managing director, who's giving directions to down the line, the other managers and other officers. That's how the company is running. So even in our ordinary understanding of how the things function, we understand that a big aeroplane cannot fly without a pilot. So how can so many wonderful manifestations and routine things which are going on in the material world, like sun rising, sun setting, seasons changing, rains coming, rains not coming, all this is happening automatically? There's nobody to create, nobody to control this. This is the question which we should ask ourselves. Should introspect. That's the point Prabhupada is trying to make. So, just because you cannot see doesn't mean, the person behind that is not existing. Krishna's energies are so wonderful. That's what Vedas say, that they are acting very swiftly, naturally, and beyond our limited understanding. God, inconceivable. So the question now is, okay, if God is doing everything, why are we ignorant about God now? What is the reason? It is due to lack of knowledge. That people say God is dead, that there is no God, and that we have no relationship with God. Right? This is the only reason. Lack of understanding. And why we have lack of understanding? Prabhupada said previously, it is because we are covered with the modes of nature. But we as spirit souls can rise above the modes, the gunas. And when you endeavor to know God, God will help us. That's the point. These thoughts, God is dead, our relationship with God is all simply imagination. These all thoughts have been compared to the thoughts of a man haunted by a ghost. People are sometimes ghostly haunted. They speak nonsense. Just as a haunted man speaks all nonsense, when we become covered by the illusory energy of God, we say that God is dead, but it's not a fact. Your ignorance is so much covered, your understanding, that you're not able to comprehend these things, understand these things. So Prabhupada says, therefore, we need this chanting process to cleanse our heart. So the dirty things in our heart is this, about our misidentification, misunderstanding about our existence in the material world. These are the dirty things. But I am this body, I don't have any connection with God, I am independent, I can do anything in this world, I can enjoy in this world forever. These are all called dirty things in the heart. These dirty things are covering our consciousness now. So it has become polluted. So to clean this dirty consciousness, the recommendation is that we have to take up the chanting process. Right? We need this chanting process to cleanse our heart. So Prabhupada recommends, take to the simple process of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. In that way, in your family life, in your club, in your home, on the road, everywhere chant Hare Krishna. And this darkness covering your heart, covering your real position will be removed. So right now our heart is covered by darkness. Darkness of misunderstanding, misidentification about our identity, real position. So Prabhupada says. Now, the example of mirror always should remember. Mirror is dusty, then you cannot see yourself. So our heart is right now unclean, means so many dust, so much of the garbage is sitting in our consciousness. That I am this body, the world around me, everybody is body, all of us are here to enjoy, exploit things. This is called garbage or dust. And this has to be cleansed. How it can be cleansed? If you can simply chant Hare Krishna, as Prabhupada says, in your family life, in your club, in your home, on the road, everywhere, keep chanting Hare Krishna. Then darkness from your heart will be cleansed. This is the cleansing process. And why this is recommended? Now we're going to discuss. Prabhupada is going to explain further. So then, when you start doing this cleansing process of chanting Hare Krishna, then you'll understand your real constitutional position. Because constitutionally, you are spirit soul. You are part and parcel of Krishna. You are eternally connected to Krishna. This understanding will awaken in you. Oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, he recommended Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Marjanam means cleansing. Darpanam means mirror. The heart is a mirror. And it's statements from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, our heart is like a mirror. Right now it is covered by dust. It is like a camera. Heart is like a camera. Just as a camera takes all kinds of pictures of days and nights, so also our heart takes pictures and keeps them in an unconscious state. Very wonderful, understanding Prabhupada is giving. Our heart is like a camera. Day, night, it is just clicking pictures, and those pictures are all stored in our memory as impressions. And it's all stored in subtle mind, subtle consciousness, right? It's all sitting there. The psychologists know this. The heart takes so many pictures, and therefore it becomes covered. So many impressions of this way, if I enjoy life, it'll be nice. This way, I have to live my life. This way, I have to, do things. This is how I should become famous. This is how I should enjoy life. Like this, so many impressions by hearing from people, by seeing the television, by seeing the movies, by social media interaction. So many pictures you have taken and kept in your heart. That has covered your real identity. The dust has covered your real identity. Right? I am so and so. I should become a big man. I should become a famous man. I should become a wealthy man. This is what the social media and all the different types of media is bombarding us day in and day out. So modern day advertisement is just hammering you every day. You should purchase a new car now. Throw away your old car. You should purchase this new gadget now. Okay, already you have one home. You should purchase 5 more homes. So this is for purchasing 5 more homes. How much hard work you are supposed to do? Right? You're going to lose your sleep. You'll have sleepless nights. You'll be so diseased. But even then, you have to, why? I want 5 homes. For what? No, that is what is the trend today. You have to get this. Like this, we are running after something which is actually illusory. We discussed about this in our one more previous topic. Oh, Prahlad Maharaj says, we are running after Maya Sukha. Illusory happiness. That sense of satisfaction of what is the fact, what is truth, you don't know, but you're running behind something which will never give you happiness. And you're thinking, chasing that particular thing only is happiness for me. Unfortunately. This is called Maya Sukha. And we are busy in that day and night. Just see, everybody is busy in that. So this is the dust in our heart. We have made some wrong beliefs, false beliefs in this material world. This is how I want to be in this world. This is how enjoyment is. Very strong false beliefs. we have made in our world, in our way of functioning in the material world. We do not know when it has begun. But it is a fact that because there is material contact, our real identity is covered. It's a very important point Prabhupada is making. Our existence in the material world has been eternally there. We are eternals. When we came in contact with this world, material world, and from when this dust is accumulating in our consciousness, we cannot trace it back. Okay? The scriptures say, Bhagavata says especially, there is heaps of dust sitting in our consciousness. Mountains of dust. Right? So, when there is a lot of dust sitting on the mirror, you cannot even know that it's a mirror there. That's the problem. Right? So, whereas the process of chanting Hare Krishna, whether you like or don't like, you start doing it, the dust on the mirror of your heart will start becoming cleaned up. That's the point. Therefore, Chetadarpana Marjanam, one has to cleanse his heart. From when this contamination has begun, when this accumulation of dust has begun, we cannot trace back. But it is a fact that we have come in contact with this material world and our heart is right now covered with the dust. Dust of what? Dust of false beliefs of enjoying the material world. Dust of false identification with this body as self. This is all the dust sitting in our heart. So Prabhupada now analyzes the different processes to cleanse the heart. The ultimate process is chanting Hare Krishna, which Prabhupada said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is recommended. But let us analyze. Let us, if somebody says, okay, I have one very good process of cleansing the heart. Let us analyze all of them. So different processes to cleanse the heart. There are different processes to cleanse the heart. The Jnana process, the Yoga process, the meditation process, the pious activities, karma also cleanses the heart. All these processes, let us discuss now. Let us discuss on their merits and what is practical and what is the best. Now, let us first discuss with acting piously. Punya karma is definitely acting piously means acting as per the regulations, as per the directions given in the Shastra, scriptures. Dharmic Shastra, Dharma is giving us some directions. Right? You should, conduct your life in a honest way. You should, do this. You should not do this. That way, if you conduct your life, that is called life of punya or piously living. Definitely, this will cleanse our heart. The directions given in the scriptures to live a life of dharma, dharmic life, is meant to cleanse our heart. But although these processes are recommended for cleansing the heart, in this age, they are all very difficult. So, Prabhupada first says, yes, performing good karma, as per the scriptures, what is right, what is wrong, is all good. Right? But in this present age, which is characterized by wherein the good qualities in the people itself is so degraded. Say honesty. I want to be honest, but the system is such that you will never be honest. You have to also follow the system of dishonesty. That's the problem. That's like in the Bhagavatam, there's a description. In the modern day, the courts, the judges also are bribed to get proper judgment in their favor. Somebody who is trying to get a judgment. So where is the court of justice is supposed to give you, proper, understanding with regard to what is right, what is wrong. But court itself is biased. Justice itself is shaking. So this is how it is. The present day situation is such that you are forced to follow something which is not, as per the dharmic principles. Because age is characterized in that way. Age is like that. It's very difficult to follow the good karma recommendations given in the scriptures to become very pious. Next, the Jnana process. To follow the path of philosophical knowledge, one must become a very learned scholar. One must read so many books. One must go to learned professors and scholars and speculate. So jnana process means very tedious process. Right? You should analyze many aspects in the world around us by studying books, many books. Consult many professors, scholars, and you have to also have this ability to contemplate and speculate on different subject matters. So not possible for everybody. Maybe very handful, few can do this. Great thinkers we should become. Right? So one must search out a person who has seen the light. So these are all philosophical process. Even though you may consult many great scholars, great thinkers, everybody will have their own version, their own viewpoint. But who has actually seen the light? Who has seen the truth actually? That is the big question mark. Right? So meditation. So we discussed about two processes. One is good karma. Not easy in the present Kali Yuga. Jnana process, also not very practical, because getting the person who has actually seen the truth is not easy. Otherwise, go on in circles. Achha, this person said that, this person said that. It's contradicting. What is the right thing? I don't know. And what about the meditation process? Meditation is also a recommended process in the scriptures. One should question, what am I? Just consider, am I this body? Right? We began our discussion with Prabhupada explaining what is meditation. Right? Meditation means to know that I am part and parcel of God, and to realize this through a standard process of self-realization is called meditation. So first and foremost in meditation is you have to have this questioning ability of what am I? Am I this body? It's like if you analyze am I this body, you'll definitely understand or come to an understanding that no, I'm not this body. Or am I this finger? So this is my finger. So like that, but I'm not my finger also. If you contemplate on your legs, you see, oh, this is my leg. Then like this, you go on analyzing about your various aspects of your body. You will find everything to be mine. And where is that I? Everything is mine, but where is that I? This question is what is, first of all, find out who are you. Meditation means first to come to the point of self-realization. Who are you actually? Are you this body? No, I'm not this body. I'm giving ownership of this body to one person who is within me. Who is that person? So when one is searching for that I, that is called meditation. So real meditation means concentrating all the senses in that way. Right? Who am I? Right? But that meditation process is very difficult. One must control the senses. So this dhyana process is a recommended process. In the scriptures, Krishna also explains in Bhagavad Gita, but it is not easy. The important recommendation here is to control the senses. The modern day context, where is the control of senses? The senses are dragging one outward, and one has to bring them inward for introspection. Senses are all, continuously being pulled here, there. Different senses nowadays, with all the social media and so many things. Every now and then, the senses are getting agitated. Where is the time, or where is the, that time of yours to introspect? Who am I? Therefore, there are 8 processes in yoga system. Right? The first is controlling the senses by regulative principles. Yama. Then asana. Then sitting postures that will help to concentrate the mind. If one sits leaning over, that will not help. If one sits up straight, that will help. Like this, there are many recommendations with regard to the meditation process, dhyana process, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama. Like this, many recommendations are given. Then controlling the breathing, that is pranayama. Then meditation, then samadhi, then dhyana, then samadhi. It's a very elaborate process. But today, these are very, very difficult processes. No one can immediately perform them. When this system of yoga called Ashtanga Yoga was discussed with Arjuna to control the mind and senses, Arjuna immediately rejected it. It's 5,000 years ago, just the situation, conditions were much favorable. Even then, Arjuna rejected it, telling that my mind is uncontrolled. My mind is very flickering. Right? It is very forcefully taking me to hear this, that, and that. So I cannot practice this yoga system, Krishna. Arjuna flatly refused. Right? Krishna also says, yes, not practical for his age, especially Kali Yuga, it is not practical. So actually, these are very difficult, very, very difficult processes. No one can immediately perform them. This is a fact. The so-called yoga processes are fragmental. Only the sitting postures and a few breathing exercises are practiced, but that cannot bring one to the perfectional stage. Right now, in the name of yoga, yoga means a process which can connect you with the Supreme, which can link you with the Supreme. That is called self-realization. But right now, a fragmental aspect of this Ashtanga Yoga of, say, performing some asanas, exercises, gymnastics, or some breathing control, pranayama is taken separately. Oh, they say this is yoga. And why this yoga required? They say, oh, if you want to maintain your health nicely, if you want to have a long life, very good life, then you have to practice this. And why long life, good life? But you can enjoy your senses as much as possible. That is the whole purpose. The modern day understanding of yoga is not that we have to, connect ourselves with the Supreme, establish our connection with Supreme again, and then perfect our life. No, it is not the understanding. Right now, understanding is just enjoy life as much as possible, as long as you're alive. Because after you die, there's nothing. All it is void. Wrong understanding is going on in the present day context. So, the aspect of modern day approach with regard to the yoga system doesn't bring us to the perfectional point of life. The actual yoga process, although a recommended Vedic process, is not practical, it's very difficult in this age. So we discussed about the karma, discussed about jnana, and the yoga process. Right? Similarly, one can try to get knowledge with the speculative philosophical process. This is Brahman, this is not Brahman. What is Brahman? What is spirit soul? Right? Like this, there are class of philosophers who is trying to analyze things, in a very, very careful, a critical manner. What is Brahman? What is spirit? This is not Brahman. Neti, neti, neti. What is spirit soul? Like this, they are all analyzing very carefully. Such empiric philosophical discussion is also recommended, but it is useless in this age. Right? Philosophical process for that requires, very good intelligence and high level of thinking, which is not available in the present day Kali Yuga system, Kali Yuga's, situation. So it is not practical for everybody. It's useless. So Prabhupada concludes today's discussion with the understanding of what is the easiest and most sublime process to cleanse the heart. Right? So we began with understanding, as Prabhupada lectures today, beginning. The whole process of meditation means to cleanse the heart and realize that you are spirit, soul, part and parcel of God. Right? What is the most easiest and sublime process to cleanse the heart? The karma process, yoga process, jnana process are all not practical. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but also the Vedic literature says, Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nama Iva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. Kalau means in this age. Nasti eva, Nasti eva, Nasti eva. 3 times Nasti eva is there. Why it is so? Prabhupada explains. Eva means certainly, and Nasti means not. Certainly not, certainly not, certainly not. So, what is a certainly not? One cannot realize oneself by karma. We discussed. Good karma, the directions given in scriptures you follow. Not easy. Kali Yuga is not possible. It's the first, certainly not. Certainly, we cannot cleanse your heart by following good karmic, principles. Next, one cannot realize oneself by jnana. This is second, certainly not. One cannot realize oneself by yoga, certainly not. This third, certainly not. So by karma, jnana, yoga, you cannot cleanse your heart in this age of Kali. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Kalo, in this age, kalo nastyeva, 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 gatiranyatha. So what is the recommended process? In this age, one certainly cannot achieve success by any of these three methods. These three methods are not practical, are useless, in one sense. Then what is the recommended process? Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam. 3 times Harer Nama is told. Simply chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Harer Namaiva Kevalam. Kevalam means only. Only process recommended for this process, for this age of Kali is to cleanse the heart is chanting Hare Krishna. It is the easiest and most sublime process. This is recommended, practical and authorized. Easy, sublime, practical, authorized, recommended. See, all the words are very important. Right? Easy, why? Because just you have to utter the holy name and hear. Sublime, why? Because immediately, whichever stage you are in, it will lift you to the highest level. It is recommended for this age of Kali. Not that we are telling you. Scriptures recommend. The great authorities recommend. It's very practical. Prabhupada has demonstrated this by going all over the world. And any condition of life we can chant. That is the point. So there is no expenditure, there is no loss. We are not chanting a secret. No, it is open. And by chanting, you will cleanse the heart. So we conclude today with this understanding, and then we'll continue our discussion more. So Prabhupada's lecture continues. So in today's discussion, we understood that right now, our heart is covered by dust. Our mirror of the heart is covered by dust of so many wrong understandings, misconceptions, wrong belief systems about myself and about the world around me. So we have to cleanse the heart. Unless we cleanse the heart, we cannot come to the point of who am I? You cannot even begin the process of meditation. Meditation means concentrating or focusing your consciousness on the self, in connection with the Supreme Self. Right? So, this is what Prabhupada explained in today's discussion. But right now, the cleansing process, which we think or we may assume it will be good one, either karma process, jnana process, or yoga process are not practical. Only practical process of cleansing process is called the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. Okay. So we'll conclude here. If anybody is going to ask any comments, any discussions, you can open the platform for discussion. Yes. Any questions? Any clarification?
Prabhuji,
Yes, Guptaji.
okay, number one, in the first place, why did God create this universe and human beings? So first created, and then we have been advised to follow some process to come back.
Okay.
And number two,
okay.
Number two, say, of course, chanting Hare Rama, Hare Krishna is certainly very, very enjoyable, thrilling, and has great effect. But say, in Bhagavad Gita, God says, I have created everything. So if we try to see God in everything and everyone, in every situation, will that not be more simplified way of remembering Him?
Okay. Fine. So regarding the first question of why God created this world, correct?
Right.
Why did He create this world, and why are we forced to accept a process after creation? First and foremost, the creation of this material world is to facilitate our propensity to enjoy. It is his kindness. Because the criminals cannot express their criminal way of functioning in the ordinary way of life with regard to other citizens who are all law-abiding. The government has to create a prison house. This is a necessity. Otherwise, these criminals will be a disturbance to everybody else. Do you agree?
Right.
So, likewise, when there are living entities who are rebellious, who are law-breaking with regard to the way Lord has created the whole creation. Basically, this whole, the spiritual world is all having wonderful, interaction with Krishna and his devotees. So there are living entities who didn't want to obey. So they have to be given a place. This material world is a place. So this creation is out of necessity for us who have rebelled against Krishna's wonderful creation, which we have, we didn't want to obey. This material world is a prison house, actually, jail. And the superintendent of this jail is Durga. She is having 10 weapons in her hand and she is constantly punishing us. Why? Because just like in the jail, the jail superintendent is always trying to punish you to rectify yourself. So opportunity is given in the material world for us to rectify our mentality that you have come here because of this mistake. The mistake is what? We have disobeyed Krishna's instructions. So the question of why this world was created, this is an opportunity for all of us to rectify our wrong mentality of not obeying Krishna. And why you have to obey Krishna? Why you have to be law-abiding? Why you have to abide with the orders of Krishna? Because that is our constitution. That is our nature. If I say this hand has to follow my order, that's how it is made up of. If the hand says, no, I don't want to follow you, there is no need for this hand is useless for me. So by constitution, by the makeup, the living entity is subordinate to Krishna, part and parcel of Krishna. It's like this hand is part of my body. The living entity is Mamevamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. And when the living entity forgets this knowledge, understanding that I am eternally part and parcel, and he misuses the independence given to it, then Lord has to facilitate that independent nature in the living entity and similar living entities to accommodate them in a place called the material world. And material world is a place for such rebellious entities to rectify their mentality. Sooner we realize this, better. And with regard to the second part of the first question, and why he is forcing us to follow. See, there is no question of force. In fact, the whole Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna, and towards the end, Krishna said, Arjuna has spoken the whole instructions and the way one has to conduct oneself. You decide what to do. Yathet-jasi tatha kuru. If you follow, it is good for you. In fact, in many places in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, if you follow this, you will get the perfection. If you don't follow, you will continue. Cycle of birth and death. So, the choice is always given. There is no interference with the small free will Krishna has given us with regard to following or not following. There is no force here. But if you follow, if you voluntarily align ourselves with the design that Krishna has made in this material world, why? Because if you follow that, you will get, you will be promoted and you will be situated in your original constitutional situation. Sooner, the better for you. Otherwise, you'll continue suffering. So, if you force yourself voluntarily, it is good for you. Or if you think, no, what is the need? I will take time, just like a student. No, he has to appear for the exam at the end of the year. If he thinks it is very forceful, it is so bad for me. No, that is the way system is. If you follow that system, everybody is following, then you will move to the next class. No, I don't want to write exam. I'll be here. I'm very happy the way I am. Then you continue being there in the same class. Right? So, as spirit souls, we are progressive. We want progressiveness in our life. So, if you don't want progression, then it will only create a sense of discontent, dissatisfaction, frustration, disappointment. And that is how our life is right now. Sooner we understand that my progression towards spiritual path is the purpose of my life, and I align myself with that progression, that is what is going to give you enthusiasm, hope, happiness, and satisfaction. It's a very wonderful aspect which Krishna reveals again and again in Bhagavad Gita. So, the purpose of creation is an opportunity for us to correct ourselves and go back to our original situation in the spiritual world. And the system is not forced upon us. It is presented to us. It is left to us to follow or not to follow. To what degree you follow, to what extent you seriously, sincerely follow, to that extent, you will be awarded the results. There's a law of karma functioning. Right? And sooner and sincerely, and every opportunity is given to everybody to, attain perfection. It's all dependent on the individual person, whether to follow, to what level, to what extent, depending on his level of understanding. That's the point. This is the first question. Second question, can you repeat again? Gupta ji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Gupta ji.
Hello. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My basic question was, why did he created us in the very first place?
Oh, that was the question, basic question. Okay. So see, there is no question of creation of ours. We are eternally existing. That's what Krishna says, Sanatana. This word is used in that statement in Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. It's not that we have created at one point of time. No. The aspect of creation, aspect of birth and all is in the material world. We took birth, we die, we again take birth. These are all concepts in the material world. Our existence in the spiritual world with Krishna is eternal. Right? But when we came in contact with material world, you cannot trace back. So because we cannot trace back, it is such a long time before it has happened. So it is considered as Nitya Baddha. It's eternally conditioned. Something very long ago it has happened. We don't know. We cannot trace out the time, track out the time. That's why it is known as Nitya Baddha. So it looks like we are eternally conditioned. But no, at this one point of time, we got conditioned here. So, Krishna didn't create us. We were eternally existing with Krishna. That is the answer.
Yeah, I was getting confused because somewhere in Bhagavad Gita it says, I created first Brahma.
Okay.
And then Brahma created rest of the world.
Creation basically means, creation, again, when it comes to the context, creation means there was an eternal living entity, soul. One soul was given the position of Brahma. It's like election happens, doesn't mean that one person is, he was born as a prime minister. No. That person was existing. He was elected as a prime minister for a term. Right? Once his term is over, one more person will be elected. Likewise, when Krishna says, Brahma has come from me or demigods have come from me, the different living entities who have risen to that level of karma, they are given that position. They are given that post.
Okay.
Again, the living entity, once it is perfected, it will know. See, again, taking position of Brahma or Devata is all part of the material world.
Okay.
It will go on like this. Once as Brahma, once as the ant, once as elephant. This is going on in the material world. No, never ending story. So Krishna recommends in Gita, don't go on like this whole chakkar. Again, you liberate yourself and come to your eternal identity of being, being with Krishna always.
Yeah.
So we are never created. We are always existing, eternally existing with Krishna. First point. And when we desire to enjoy independent of Krishna, we were put in the material world. The material world is a facility to rectify our mentality. And nobody is forced. All things are available for everybody. You get good association by your, your sincerity, and you get the association of, pure devotees. That is the path of liberation for you. And how seriously, sincerely you follow.
Right.
I hope it is clear.
No, it's clear. It's clear.
What was the second question?
Second question was, chanting is very enjoyable and it creates very right effect, no doubt. But I was saying, Bhagavad Gita says, chapter 10 perhaps, where it is mentioned that you try to see me in everything, in every person, every situation. So if we inculcate this habit of seeing God in everyone, will it not be simpler than chanting also?
Yes. Actually, you see, that process is part of the jnana process. Dhyana process will bring you to that point, what you said. It's all mentioned in 6th chapter, 13th chapter, all that is mentioned. See, these are all various aspects of, progression in your spiritual journey.
Right.
Point is coming to that level of, seeing Krishna and everything as Krishna's and connected to Krishna, this level of knowledge to come to. It is not possible for ordinary people in a common way. Right?
Yes.
Normally, it is not possible because they may read and intellectually understand some things, but doing it practically is not easy. Like Krishna says, Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kamshati samasarveshu bhuteshu. Right? He says, when you come to the spiritual platform and you don't hanker, you don't lament for anything material, and you see every living entity on equal platform, spiritual platform. Right? That's what you mean to say, right?
Right.
So then Krishna says, then you can do bhakti. Right? So which means it's a very elevated stage. That stage, what you're telling is a very elevated stage. Not easy.
No, say these days, chapter 8, say we have been taught, say if you remember God at the time of death.
Yes.
So,
relevant. Yeah. The point is.
So we see God everywhere. In everything.
You can see, but that level of advancement should have happened to you.
It happened, that's right.
But point is, we're not advanced, but this process of chanting Hare Krishna is so powerful. Whether you're advanced, not advanced, qualified, qualified, it's such an easy process, easy and sublime process. Sublime means you may be in the most, degraded stage of ignorance and life, but it will lift you up to Krishna.
Very true.
That's the point. So other processes, we are not denying it is wrong. It is all standard authorized processes. But coming to that level and then realizing Krishna is not practical for everybody. Right? No doubt. But what happens with chanting Hare Krishna is, you continue chanting, Krishna will reveal that knowledge. We'll see this in 10th chapter again. Krishna will empower you with all the knowledge necessary. What is there in Vedic scriptures? When you start chanting Hare Krishna and start following what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, automatically you will come to this platform. See, it's the other way. So one is the gradual process, as Prabhupada says, step by step you're going. Whereas this chanting Hare Krishna is a lift process. You
Very
elevate
good.
yourself and you start getting realizations. This is Krishna's. This is how everything is created. So that knowledge is revealed to you. Spiritual knowledge is revealed to you. Just see the process.
Yes.
Because right now the Kali Yuga situation is very degraded. Coming to this
Very
level of realization is not easy ordinarily. But Swami Prabhupada says, chant, 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 some more chant. This will bring you to the platform of proper understanding and seeing things in the proper perspective. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, thank you. Hare Krishna. Good questions.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol. Very nice. Fine, we'll close now. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.